Good morning, Junior 6. How are you? Today we'll do a revision on first lesson on Unit 3, Oxygen. Okay, as we studied, the atmosphere is the layer that contains a mixture of gases. Atmosphere is the layer that contains a mixture of gases. Okay, atmosphere is attracted to the earth by the effect of gravity. What are the main components of atmosphere? The atmosphere is composed of mixture of gases. The atmosphere is composed of mixture of gases that surrounding the earth. They attracted to the earth by the effect of gravity. What is these gases? Nitrogen gas, which represents 78% of the atmosphere. Oxygen gas, which represents 21% of air volume or atmosphere. 21% by the meaning of 1/5 of the air volume. Carbon dioxide and other gases like water vapor, neon, helium, and argon represent 1% of the atmosphere. So, firstly, you should know the definition of atmosphere. Atmosphere is the layer that surround the earth. Is the mixture of gases surrounding the earth by the effect of gravity. Okay? Atmosphere consists of mixture of gases, nitrogen gas, which represents 78% of the atmosphere, oxygen gas, which represents 21% of atmosphere or 1/5 of air volume, carbon dioxide and other gases as water vapor, argon, neon, helium represent 1% of the atmosphere. It's okay? Okay. What is the function of the atmosphere? What is the importance of atmosphere? The sun radiates harmful radiation. The sun maybe radiate some of radiation of the sun useful and another harmful. This harmful radiation, if it reaches to the Earth's surface, it will damage the Earth. So the importance of atmosphere, it protects the Earth by absorbing the harmful radiation and prevent this radiation to reach the Earth's surface. So protect the Earth by absorbing ultraviolet radiation. These ultraviolet radiation, harmful radiation coming from outer space. So atmosphere absorb it and doesn't let it to reach the Earth's surface. So the first function, protect the Earth by absorbing the harmful ultraviolet radiation coming from the outer space. Number 2, adjust the temperature of the Earth. Number 2, adjust the temperature of the Earth. Keep the temperature of the Earth suitable for life. Okay? There is large amount of solid objects are considered as air pollutants. There are large amounts of solid objects. These solid objects considered as air pollutants like smoke and dust particles. Okay? Atmosphere help in condensation of water vapor. Atmosphere contains what? Contains water vapor and help in condensation of water vapor by smoke. By the helping of smoke and the dust particles to make a condensation of water vapor. Again, there is a smoke and dust particles coming from the cars and factories. There is smoke and dust particles coming from what? Coming from cars and factories, okay? And there is water vapor in the air. Water vapor in the air condensed by the helping of smoke and dust particle. What happens for water vapor in the air? Condensation by help of what? Smoke and dust particles. And when the water vapor condenses, it changes into rain and snow. Change it into what? Change it into rain and snow. So, we studied what is meant by atmosphere. It's the layers around the earth that contain a mixture of gases, and we know the percentage of each gas in the atmosphere. Number 2, the importance of atmosphere protect us from harmful ultraviolet radiation coming from outer space by absorbing it. Number 2, adjust the temperature of the earth. And We know that there is a smoke and dust particles in the air and there is water vapor in the air. The water vapor condensed by helping of smoke and dust particles and changed into rain or snow. Okay, oxygen molecule. Oxygen molecule consists of two oxygen atom. Consists of what? Two oxygen atom. So oxygen molecule consists of what? Two oxygen atom. Oxygen represents 1/5 of air volume. Oxygen molecule consists of two oxygen atom. Now we will study the main important source of oxygen on Earth. Main source of oxygen on Earth. What is the main source of oxygen on Earth? The main source of oxygen on Earth is the green plants. Produces oxygen in the air. Produces oxygen in the air. How? By photosynthesis process. So the main source of oxygen in the air is the green plants. Green plants by photosynthesis process take carbon dioxide, sunlight, and water, gives me oxygen and nutrients. Produces oxygen and nutrients. Now we will study the main source of oxygen on the earth is the green plants. Plants. The green plants take carbon dioxide, water, and sunlight, gives or produces oxygen and nutrients. Okay? Green plants produces oxygen in the air to compensate the consumption of oxygen in respiration and the combustion process. By the meaning, although we use oxygen daily, but the percentage of oxygen is fixed. Doesn't increase or decrease. Why? Because the oxygen used by human during respiration and burning process compensated by green plants during photosynthesis process. Is compensated by the green plants during photosynthesis process. So the amount of oxygen in air is fixed, stable. Why? Because the oxygen used by humans during respiration, during burning process, compensated by green plants during photosynthesis process. It's okay? The ratio of oxygen stays fixed. Here they give reason. The ratio of oxygen stays fixed in the air because the consumed oxygen during respiration and burning process compensated by green plants during photosynthesis process. Here O plus O2 oxygen atom forming O2 molecule, forming oxygen, two oxygen atom forming O2 oxygen molecule. Okay? Preparation of oxygen in laboratory. How we can prepare oxygen? We will use something which is called hydrogen peroxide. When we go into the lab to prepare oxygen, we will use something which is called hydrogen peroxide. Hydrogen peroxide is oxygenated water. Hydrogen peroxide decomposes or analyzed into something, which are oxygen and water. Hydrogen peroxide decomposes into oxygen and water. In presence of what? In presence of something which is called manganese dioxide. So hydrogen peroxide decomposes in presence of manganese dioxide. Into oxygen and water. So hydrogen peroxide decomposes into oxygen and water in presence of manganese dioxide. We can call the manganese dioxide as a catalyst. Manganese dioxide called what? Catalyst. What is this? What is meant by catalyst? Catalyst is the chemical substance, which speed up the reaction, which help in the chemical reaction and remains without any change in quantity and structure. Remains without any change in quantity and structure. So the catalyst which is used in preparation of oxygen is called manganese dioxide. So what is meant by catalyst? It's the chemical substance which speed up the reaction and remain without any change in the structure. But when I ask you what is something that speed the reaction of hydrogen peroxide, speeds the decomposition of hydrogen peroxide to produce oxygen, don't say catalyst. You should say the name of the catalyst, manganese dioxide. So the catalyst used in preparation of oxygen, it's called manganese dioxide. Manganese dioxide help in decomposition of hydrogen peroxide. Yes, manganese dioxide help in the composition of hydrogen peroxide into oxygen and water. But manganese dioxide at the end of this reaction doesn't change in quantity or structure. It remains as it will be fixed. It will remain as it in a structure and the quantity doesn't change. So it's called the catalyst because it remains without any change in structure and quantity. Again, hydrogen peroxide decomposes into oxygen and water in presence of manganese dioxide. Manganese dioxide is called catalyst. Okay? I will put in this measuring flask at the bottom manganese dioxide, and I will put in the funnel from upper hydrogen peroxide. Then we will open the tape to mix together. The oxygen will collect and passes through this tube until it collects at this cylinder. How can I know the oxygen collected in the cylinder? The water in the cylinder coming down because oxygen going up. The water in cylinder coming down. Why? Because oxygen going up. Because when oxygen collects here and passes through the tube, when it reaches the cylinder, let the water going down and going up because it replaces the water by the way, which is called down displacement of water. Downward displacement of water. The oxygen replaces water, yes, by the way, which is called what? Downward displacement of water. How come oxygen dissolve in water? No, oxygen doesn't dissolve in water. Oxygen doesn't dissolve in water because oxygen rarely, scarcely dissolves in water. Because oxygen scarcely dissolves in water, it collects by the way which is called the downward displacement of water. So we can collect oxygen by the way which is called downward displacement of water. Yes, give reason. Because oxygen rarely or scarcely dissolves in water. Because oxygen rarely or scarcely dissolves in water. So here, what is the role of manganese dioxide? What is the function of manganese dioxide? What is the catalyst? Manganese dioxide. It's a chemical substance which speeds up the reaction without any change in structure or quantity. Oxygen is collected by downward displacement of water because it scarcely dissolves in water. Hydrogen peroxide can decompose in presence of what? In presence of manganese dioxide into oxygen and water. So today we studied that the atmosphere is the layer that surrounds the earth that contains a mixture of gases, nitrogen, oxygen, carbon dioxide, water vapor, and other gases, and we know the percentage of each one. We studied that the importance of atmosphere to protect the earth from the harmful ultraviolet radiation coming from outer space and adjust the temperature of the earth. Can we consider it from number 3 from importance or a note? Smoke and the dust particles help in condensation of water vapor and changing it into water in form of rain or snow. We know that the oxygen molecule consists of 2 oxygen atoms, and the main source of oxygen on the earth is photosynthesis process. By taking the main source of oxygen in the earth, green plants, by making photosynthesis process. Green plants take carbon dioxide, water, and sunlight gives oxygen and the nutrients. Although we use oxygen daily, but the percentage is fixed, doesn't change, because the oxygen used during respiration and burning process is compensated by green plants during photosynthesis process. We studied the preparation of oxygen in laboratory. We can prepare oxygen by decomposition of hydrogen peroxide in presence of manganese dioxide as a catalyst into oxygen and water. And the way of preparation of oxygen or collect of oxygen, it's called downward displacement of water, because oxygen rarely or scarcely dissolves in water. And manganese dioxide, it's called a catalyst because it speeds up the reaction without any change in quantity or structure. It remains constant. Okay, we will stop at this point today and we will continue next session inshallah. Goodbye, Junior 6. Thank you.